KH. Today is kind of a gray, glum day, so I thought that I would read this book. It's by Stevenson, one of KH's favorite authors, and it's called Could Be Worse. And we notice the familiar character, Grandpa. Could be worse. I think today I'm just going to hold it like this and read through. Could be worse. At Grandpa's house, things were always the same. Grandpa always had the same thing for breakfast. Every day he read the paper. And he always said the same thing. Could be worse. Grandpa, that awful dog ate this sofa cushion. Could be worse. He always said the same thing no matter what. I got a splinter in my finger, Grandpa. Could be worse. My bike has a flat and my sneakers have a hole and I lost my kite in a tree, Grandpa. What do you think Grandpa's gonna say? Could be worse. One day, Mary Ann said, "How come Grandpa never says anything interesting?" "I guess it's because nothing interesting happens to him," said Louie. Guess what? Next morning at breakfast, Grandpa said something different. He said, "Guess what?" Last night, when I was asleep, a large bird pulled me out of bed and took me for a long ride. And dropped me in the mountains. I heard a noise. Rumble, rumble. It was an abominable snowman with a huge snowball, which he threw at me. I got stuck inside the snowball, which rolled down the mountain. It finally landed on the desert and began to melt. I walked across the desert. Suddenly, I heard footsteps coming nearer and nearer. A moment later, I got squished by a giant something or other. Before I could get up, I heard a strange noise. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. A great blob of marmalade was coming toward me. It chased me across the desert until I crashed into something tall. It was sort of like an ostrich and very cross. It was angry and mean. It gave me a big kick. I went up into some storm clouds, kablam, and almost got hit by lightning. Fell out of the clouds and landed in an ocean. I sank down about a mile to the bottom. There's Grandpa. I saw an enormous goldfish coming at me. What if we met Fishy? What if you met Fishy and Fishy was that big and you were so small compared to Fishy? I swam away as fast as I could and hid under a cup that had air in it. When it was safe, I crawled out. I started to walk, but my foot got stuck in the grip of a gigantic lobster. Ouch. I didn't know what to do, but just then a big squid came along and squirted black ink all over the lobster. I escaped. You know what this makes me think of? In the other James Stevenson book that I read, We Can't Sleep, remember when Grandpa splashes the dragon and it gets so smoky that he gets to run away? That's what this reminds me of, when the squid squirts all the ink and Grandpa gets away. I escaped and hitched a ride on a sea turtle that was going to the top for a bit of sunshine. I was fortunate to find a piece of toast floating by and rowed to shore, where I discovered a newspaper. I quickly folded it into an airplane and flew across the sea and back home to bed. Now, what do you think of that? What do you think Louie and Marianne are going to say to Grandpa? Let's find out. Could be worse. The end. There is another James Stevenson story that I really wanted to read to you on Halloween because it is a super special book to me, and I couldn't find it in KH, but guess what? I found it in my house. So that will be coming up. And tomorrow I will set up a time so that we can do a Zoom so that I will get to see you again. Okay, bye friends.